Today, we're diving into Next Gen Chef, Netflix's huge new cooking show that promised us the future of food, but instead, it kind of served up a big old controversy. So, what exactly went wrong here?
You know, in the wild world of modern cooking shows, it's not just about who can cook the best steak anymore. It's so much bigger than that. It's about this idea that you can, and I'm quoting the show's promo here, transform your career and yourselves. It's like your whole life is on the line, right there on the plate.
And trust me, nobody is leaning into this idea harder than Netflix. They've got a whole buffet of these high-drama food shows. But their brand new flagship series, Next Gen Chef, well, that was supposed to be the main event.
So what was the recipe for Next Gen Chef? Come on, let's break down the ingredients of this massive production.
Okay, so the whole premise was pretty epic. You take 21 of the most promising young chefs in the country, you drop them into the Culinary Institute of America, which is basically the Harvard of the food world, and you just push them to their absolute limits to find that one true generational talent.
And who was leading the charge? Well, you had Olivia Culpo, a model and restaurateur, as the host, but the real culinary firepower came from the judges. Master Sommelier Carlton McCoy and award-winning chef Kelsey Barnard Clark. I mean, these aren't just TV faces. These are serious industry heavyweights.
And the judges made their mission crystal clear from the get-go. They weren't just looking for someone who could make a tasty dish. No, they were hunting for a visionary, a future leader who could actually change the entire industry.
Oh, and to make sure these 21 chefs were bringing their A game, the show put $500,000 on the table. For these chefs, that's not just a competition. That's a shot at a totally different life.
But to really get a feel for the pressure here, we need to look past the prize money in the fancy setting. Let's follow one chef's journey right through the fire.
Let me introduce you to Eli Kochman. He's 25, a sous chef with a killer resume. But here's the thing, no formal culinary degree. So for him, Next Gen Chef was his chance to prove that hard-earned, real-world kitchen experience can beat a fancy diploma any day.
And believe me, his experience was the real deal. He started as a busboy when he was just 16, learned all about systems and standards working at a Five Guys, and then he clawed his way into some of the most intense kitchens on the planet, including the legendary 11 Madison Park. This guy had earned his spot, for sure.
But Eli went into this thing with his eyes wide open. He knew that even when you have a room full of incredible talent, reality TV always has its own agenda. And you know, producer-driven drama is always going to be the secret ingredient.
And that pressure hit right away. I mean, in the very first challenge, almost half the chefs were sent home, gone, just like that. Eli survived, but then he got thrown into a sudden death round, plating steak tartare like his life depended on it. And later, they told him to make 8 perfect soufflés in 45 minutes, a classic, terrifying dish he had never even made before. Talk about a trial by fire.
So the show itself was this polished, high-stakes culinary war. But once that finale aired and a winner was crowned, well, that's when the show's perfect recipe met the unfiltered chaos of the internet. And let's just say the audience bit back. Hard. The credits rolled on TV, but the real show was just getting started online. Over on places like Reddit, viewers started picking apart that finale, piece by piece, and they really did not like what they were seeing. So what was the #1 complaint? It was a big one. A massive perceived conflict of interest. Viewers quickly figured out that the winner had worked for one of the main judges in the past and was currently working for a super influential guest judge from the finale. For a lot of people, that just completely shattered the illusion of a fair fight. It made the whole thing feel, well, rigged.
And then there was the sabotage. In the final challenge, one of the finalists, Ilke, needed help from a previously eliminated contestant named Abby. But then Abby ended up burning Ilke's dessert pastries. A lot of viewers were totally convinced it was on purpose, like some final act of revenge from a past challenge. The drama was real.
And finally, people just couldn't get over the super obvious product placement. Every time they had to clean up, there were these awkward shout-outs to the sponsor, Ecolab. It felt so forced that it just became this running joke, and it totally pulled people out of the moment, reminding them they weren't just watching a competition, they were watching a commercial. So let's just break it down. The online conversation was really dominated by these 3 things. Yeah, the alleged sabotage was a hot topic for about 70% of people, and the clunky ads annoyed over half the audience. But look at this.
A whopping 85% of the complaints were all about that conflict of interest. To the viewers, the competition just couldn't be fair if the winner already had a professional relationship with the judges.
So this brings us right to the heart of it all. How does a show that promised to find the next big thing in food end up getting accused of just rewarding the same old insiders?
And this is the fundamental problem, right? The promise of the show was this exciting search for a fresh, new voice who would change the game. But what a huge chunk of the audience saw was a rigged system where being an insider mattered more than being innovative.
And that leaves us with this one big nagging question. In a world that is so hungry for something real and something new, what does it mean when a show that's supposed to find the next gen of talent is seen by so many as just propping up the old guard? It really makes you wonder if the future of food is as revolutionary as it's played it to be.